Hey everybody, I'm still getting set up here, so bear with me for a second. I think we got it going. How's everybody doing this evening? I thought about just chilling out. I can't do these every time, every weekend, but it's always fun to hang out with y'all. How does that look? Does that look nice? Let me know. How we looking, everybody? Okay, I'll see if anybody wants to pop in here real quick. I'm just gonna burn some incense. I got my indie fragrances ready if y'all want to chat about those, of course. And any questions y'all want to ask me. That's what I'm here for. If you have questions, if you have anything on your mind, I'm definitely here for you, my friends. Okay. I don't even know if I should talk about incense. Do y'all like to hear about incense? I like to talk about it. I always feel like it's fun. It's meditative. It's peaceful. It's a little bit cold outside, not too cold. I got a little pullover on, so. Anyways, I see two people are here. What's your scent of the day, everybody? How are you doing? It's good to see you. Joseph says, I'm in the building. How are you, Benjamin? What's frags? Well, I got a whole bag of indie stuff. We can talk about anything and everything. And I'm just going to burn some incense. I got my little briquette out. Do y'all burn incense? Do y'all care about it? If y'all don't know, when you buy your briquettes, there's this little hollow point inside, and that's where your incense goes. And I'll show y'all again. I gotta make another episode about burning incense. But one of the best tricks to burning incense, if you want to get a better smell out of it, and some people ask like, why does my incense always just smell like smoke? Why does it burn away so quickly? Why does it not smell nice? What you do is, I have some salt right here, and you get a couple pieces of salt, and if I can get this right for you, and you want to fill the inside. It like just 2 or 3 pinches. You could probably get away with two, but I'm gonna do 3 pinches of salt here. And what this does is just disperses the heat a little bit more evenly. So it just kind of reduces the heat for the resin on top. It just doesn't burn as fast, and it gives you a better aroma with the smell. So that's one of the biggest tricks to burning incense, at least in my opinion. Um, I also tonight I have this whole like little sampler set, and I haven't burnt a lot of these, and I wanted to give you all a chance to pick which kind of one I should try tonight. If that sounds fun, let's do that. Everybody sent to the day says, "What's new tonight?" Just burning some incense, hanging out with y'all. So let's see, and that's what we're up to. And I got indie fragrances. If y'all want to hear about, I got Possettes, I got Sucre Labelle, I got all kinds of stuff. I got some more Andromeda's Curse. If you want me to talk more about those, so I got all kinds of stuff going on. And feel free to ask me some questions. That's what I'm here for. Dior Home Cologne. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. What do you think about the 2020? I haven't tried it yet. I've heard mixed things. Some people say it's okay for a versatile scent, but a lot of people got attached, and they love that iris. They love that Dior Homme DNA, so they're really disappointed in the big changes they made. Supposedly there's a Dior Intense 2020, but it's not too different from the original. I wonder if they're going to touch the parfum, and I'm not sure if it's 100%, but I wouldn't be amazed if they dropped the Dior Homme O, the one I really love, the one that is a little bit of a versatile kind of iris scent, kind of watery. And I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with the cologne versions, the fresh lemony ones and the sport as well. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the sport and all those fresher ones, all those easier to wear ones. Um, so let me know what y'all think they're going to do. Scent of the Day, Amouage Interlude by Joseph. Nice choice, Joseph. The Curious Perfumer says, "Hey, hello, Curious Perfumer. If y'all don't know, she's another upcoming fragrance reviewer. I always love to support the upcoming fragrance reviewers, the newer guys. I love to build that community, and I care about everybody. So check out her content. See if you vibe, if you connect with her. She's a nice lady for sure. I'm gonna do another shout out video. I'm always working on one. I don't want to do one every month. I like to build up and get, like 30 or so people. So it's kind of a big event. But there's so many people popping up, and I'm sure I miss people. So if I if I did forget you, let me know. And I'm not trying to avoid anybody. So scent of the night is Dior Homme Parfum. Great choice. Great performer. That's a big fragrance. Scent of the day is Parfums de Marly Godolphin. That's a really nice fragrance. It does smell a little bit like Tuscan leather. I have a review coming out on that one. I do feel like it's a little bit more of a leathery vetiver scent, more than Tuscan leather. And to me, Tuscan leather is more of like a spicy scent and has a little bit of fruitiness. So I think that there is a little bit of inspiration there, but I think they really put vetiver in the dry down, and I'm not sure if there's ambergris, but there's certainly a different vibe about Godolphins. So cyan oxide or says not sure what batch my Dior cologne is, but just smells like bergamot juice. If you bought it really recently, they reformed it for 2020. It's supposed to be kind of fresh and aromatic, and I don't remember the notes. I haven't smelled it yet myself. I'm not gonna blind buy a bottle to rush to, get to a review to be the first person to review the designer fragrance. That's just not my thing, and I really don't have the money for that kind of thing either. So, not sure what batch. Hey, the backup bottle boss. Yeah, backup bottle boss is in the house. Hey, Curious Perfumer. Back at you. Thanks, Benjamin. You're awesome. Hey, you're welcome, Curious Perfumer. Thank you for being a friend. I reach out and I comment on a lot of people's videos, and I know we're all pressed for time. I know that we're all very busy people, but I do wish that more fragrance reviewers would comment on my videos and other people's videos, and really kind of try to have that friendship. Some people, it's good. Some people are really good friends and get each other's phone numbers and talk pretty regularly. I'm a little bit more of an INFJ. I'm a little bit different. I need some alone time, and I like to be out there. But I don't want to, have a conversation maybe every day. So I like comment sections, is what I'm saying. I feel like that's a nice way to connect to people. How do you know what bergamot juice smells like? You can't get that in America. You can if you go online buy, the essential oil bergamot. Essentially, it's just a fresh, just kind of like lime and lemon. I think it comes from Italy. It's just a fresh, citrusy, bright smell. So, yeah, you can buy a lot of raw ingredients, and that's one of the things I suggest as well. If you're trying to learn the notes of fragrances, you definitely smell the fragrances you have, and look at the notes and kind of identify what pokes out. If somebody says there's a big leather note, or if there's a big note in the fragrance, and you own that fragrance, you can start to learn what really pops out of that fragrance. For example, I don't recall ever smelling gardenia, like pure a flower or an oil, but with 10 a.m. Flirt from Kieran NYC, I got that fragrance, and I know what gardenia smells like because it has a big punch of it, and I know what that smells like. So, but you can buy the essential oils, and I highly recommend that, especially for diffusing. You don't have to burn incense like I like to do. Some people feel like it's kind of scary, with a flame, with fire, and some people, there is a little bit of smoke involved. So if somebody has breathing issues or something like asthma, burning incense might not be the best choice. Diffusing oil is certainly a good way to go. It's a good way to perfume your house and get a really nice scent. So definitely check out oils. You can buy all kinds of different oils and natural ingredients, and it helps you learn more about fragrances as well. And that if you ever have the desire to become a perfumer like I do, that's one of the ways that a lot of people started. They had a bunch of essential oils, and they actually started mixing those essential oils that you would just use for diffusing and getting all kinds of different little smells, and that's a fun way to go. So I think we all need to support each other. I love this community. I do too. I think that we can build one. I've had people say that they don't believe that there's really a community. There are cliques. There are certain people who get along with each other. Maybe they have certain personalities. Maybe they have this certain almost the same amount of subscribers, or all kinds of different things. But I think that we can all become connected, a little bit better. So I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful. I try to be very positive in the fragrance community. And I think that there is good out there. Robzo Waite's doing a lot. If you haven't checked out his video, he reached out to a lot of female fragrance reviewers and supported them in a big way to, start their journey. And the Frag Hag is a great lady as well. You got, wonderful people in here like the Curious Perfumer. There's a lot of wonderful ladies and people out there. So definitely check them out. Solano's in the house. He's another fragrance reviewer. The one and only is in the house. If I remember right, I think you're from Peru, and he's a cool guy as well. Definitely check him out. Sign Access says, I'm still not sure what oud is supposed to smell like. Um, that's a very good question. Have you ever bought an oud fragrance? Have you ever smelled a fragrance with oud in it? It is pretty hard if you're a Western nose. If you come across the average oud fragrance, it's going to be really hard for you to understand what oud is, because even in high-end fragrances, very expensive fragrances, there's very little natural oud, because it can cost, as much as gold, depending on what kind of oud it is and how valuable it is. So what you have to keep in mind is that you're going to get a synthetic oud if you're just looking at a designer fragrance. If you at your mall, and a lot of malls, like my local mall, doesn't have anything with oud, even in the designer world of things. So what I would recommend is that go to a place like Sibylle or some of these places that I've looked into, and I'm talking with another brand, about oud chips, and maybe the price will be right for it. I can work on it for y'all, and get some oud chips. Get a very small amount, and maybe just burn it, or get some oud oil, and figure out what real oud smells like. If I was to describe it, there's plenty of different ouds. I've had oud that smells a little bit more like animalic patchouli. I've had oud that smells like balsamic, like dark, like almost like dark vetiver. And I've recently came across some that almost has dark, rich, sweet tones, almost leaning towards like chocolate. So oud can smell a lot of, all kinds of different ways. The most common oud I smell or come across is it just smells woody and light and animalic. So just take that in mind. If you go for Tom Ford's Oud Wood by Tom Ford is all synthetic oud. It's not really any natural, as far as I know. Is I can smell, and I've looked into it. I don't think that there's anything natural, but it still is an amazing fragrance. It smells beautiful, and it's very understandable to a Western nose. So, um, yeah, but not everybody is interested in oud. I'm not saying that you need to or you have to be, but I'm saying that if you're interested, there are ways to go about it. Get some oud chips or get some oud oil yourself. Just buy a sample. I on my Instagram shared one where you can buy a little sample. It's potent stuff, it costs like $25. But it'll give you it's an experience. You'll never forget it. Let me see here. Catch up with these comments. Says DJ, says, "Hey Ben, all the love, buddy. It's good to see you, my friend. It's good to see you in the house again, DJ. You're legit. The oud in this Dior Homme Parfum is wearing and smells like Band-Aids to me. Weird. Well, you're very right. Oud can have a medicinal smell to it. I have Tequila Oud by the House of Tequila. I have a review of that fragrance coming out soon. It smells medicinal. In Baccarat Rouge 540, I don't know if it's listed as having oud, but what that medicinal smell is coming from Baccarat Rouge 540, I don't know if it's real oud, but it's probably a synthetic in Baccarat Rouge 540. I really love what's it called? Oud Vanille by Mansara, and that one also has a medicinal oud. So there's all kinds of different ouds that have different smells, and it's all really really fascinating. It really is. So, and some people pick up on the medicinal vibes stronger than others, and some people like it and some people don't. So it's really funny. It's always funny. The Fragenstein, again, I always like your name, the Fragenstein, like Frankenstein, says, interested to know how you joined the Small Fry Squad. My history with them? Um, I'm not sure exactly. I know that I remember coming across Steven, and he was a cool guy. and I just befriended him, and he's a cool guy. I don't think he reviews fragrances too much anymore, but he's a cool guy. I really do miss the guy. you know that's really it. I chat. I don't know if the small fry squad is really a thing anymore, honestly. I don't know if that's going on, if that's strong. I was a part of it. I supported everybody, and I used to give people shout outs, and I linked people in a bunch of my videos. People really weren't doing that back for me, so I stopped doing that, and the communication just seemed to break down on my side. So I don't know if the small fry squad is a thing anymore. I'm not one to say. I really don't know. And Steven was kind of our leader, so I don't know what's going on there, my friend. I don't know. Cyan Oxide says, I just have Black Afghano and Wonder Oud. Very nice choices. I have Wonder Oud as well. To me, it smells a little bit more like a dark patchouli, but Wonder Oud by Comme des Garçons is a really wonderful oud. I think it's better than Oud for Greatness by Initio. I think it's a much better fragrance, but Oud for Greatness is probably a little bit more mass appealing. Oud for Greatness is probably a little bit, maybe a little bit more wearable for the ladies. I feel Wonder Oud has that sharpness that I like. It has that almost aggressiveness like Davidoff Zeno has. And hopefully the dogs aren't bothering y'all. um, Real oud and synthetic oud are way different. Yeah, you're right, my friend. They smell very different. They're not very similar at all. The real oud can have all kinds of different smells. Synthetic oud, I've only really come across medicinal and stuff that smells a little bit more almost like leathery and a little bit just woody. I haven't come across a lot of synthetic oud that smells overtly animalic. And that's one of the things that scares people with oud, the animalic smell. You from New Orleans? No, my friend, but I do live pretty close. I'm from the South. You're probably curious because I probably said New Orleans, right? New Orleans? Yeah, I know how to say it right. Some people say it wrong. They say like New Orleans, and you cringe, makes you have a heart attack. No, it ain't New Orleans. It's New Orleans. So that's how you say it right. Robes, Eugene, and Christo are the best. Hey, am I included in that? Am I cool? Am I cool with you? You know me, you? No, they're cool guys for sure. They're good guys. Hopefully I'm cool as well. Yes, I know, real dudes, not backstabbers. Yeah, yeah. Some people do seem to like to spy and chat with each other and gossip, and sometimes I call them snakes. So, you got to be careful with some people, but yeah, they're cool guys. Those guys are good for sure. Solano says, "Yeah, I'm from Peru." I love representation from all around the world. Peru, man. I've never met anybody from Peru, but you're a brother from Peru for sure. So crazy dogs over there. 504 Man Fragrance Review says New Orleans here. Yeah, man, you're down there. I know your little song. It's like down in New Orleans. And you got the Mardi Gras colors and all that going. Solano says tree. Love New Orleans. Great food and music, cash money, and no limit. Favorite back in the day. Yeah, man, if I had some money like that, maybe I'd have some fun and check out, everything. I've been there maybe a time or two for visiting family, but I haven't done anything too wild. The few times I've actually gone there was for work. I was delivering some restaurant equipment. So I see the good food, and I've had some, but I'm kind of jealous. I'm kind of jealous, man. Nice. Thanks for notifying or noticing the 504, bro. Oh, of course, man. Of course. Making sense is in the house. Hey, good. How you doing, my man? What's up, Ben? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm about to burn some incense. I'm actually going to tell y'all a bunch of them, and I'm going to let y'all choose my incense tonight. And then I have some indie fragrances if y'all want to jump into those. Let me see here. Oud Velvet Mood is my favorite oud, honestly. That one's a really nice. It's very sweet and it's kind of jammy. I don't call a lot of fragrances jammy, and sometimes it sounds like a weird term, but there's like a texture to it. It's almost like jam, like something you would spread on toast. It's like a rose oud jam. It's a nice fragrance, but it's very sweet. It's too sweet for me. But as far as mass appealing oud goes, that's one of the best ones for the money. And you'd get serious performance with that fragrance too. Serious performance. Big time Mike. Yeah, man. You got to get some money, get those hundreds, get those bins in your pocket. and then have some fun on the town in New Orleans, man. Oud Lemon Mint is a total winner. I wear it at least 3 times a week. It's a really nice, yeah, that's a really nice fragrance. I do like mint. It's really nice. I need to give it another try. I really do. I never bought a bottle. I have other mint fragrances, but maybe I need to go for it again. Y'all know I love Rivelair or Rivelare from Fragranza, but I need to check that one out again. I think I wanted a little bit more mint. I'm a mint head. So Michael Hodges says, "Sup, Matty? How you doing, my man? How you doing?" Making Sense is in the house and says, 504 Scott, what's up, brother? 504, not my subs like yours. Hey, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I haven't been growing like crazy. I haven't been, but I've been diligent. I've been working hard, putting out the content. But, hopefully things will snowball. But, I'm happy. I think I'm feeling good. Anyways, real oud is a bit skanky. It can be very skanky, you're right. And that's one reason a lot of people are scared of oud. It's often called a barnyard note for a reason. If you've ever been around horses or cattle, it can have that kind of smell to it. So, oud isn't for everybody. Not everybody's going to like oud or want oud. It seems to be a very popular topic, but there's a lot more notes in the world. There's a lot of other notes and ingredients that very few people talk about, and sometimes aren't used in perfumery too often. So, anyways, yeah, it can be very skanky. Do you like obsessed? Do you mean sensual obsessions? I do. I do appreciate them. Of course, Andy Warhol is a winner. Tuxedo was pretty good. I really liked Lime in the Sky. I think it's a really good citrus. For the money. In my opinion, there's not a lot of good citrus fragrances for the $50-$60 range. So Lime in the Sky is actually a pretty nice one. I'm trying to remember some others. Oh, and I really liked the what was that fragrance? The Vodka on the Rocks, the copy of Killian's fragrance. So Central Obsession is a pretty nice brand. I need to try some more. I have some more reviews of them, some of their fragrances coming out soon. So let me see here. I love Club CDG. Comme des Garçons. Yeah, yeah, for sure. They're really nice. For sure. Oud for Love, the different company is nice. I haven't tried that one yet. I've heard good things about that. I've heard good things about that company, the different company. I've heard very good things. So, I gotta check them out. I haven't had the chance yet. What do y'all think the best ouds are? I've tried M7, and it's decent. Maybe just not my cup of tea. I guess it depends on what you're wanting, Eric. Do you want something skanky? Do you like medicinal oud like Baccarat Rouge 540? Or do you want something that's a little bit more of a synthetic oud? Something like a Western nose would appreciate. I really would certainly recommend Tom Ford's Oud Wood. Get a sample of that or go to a fancy boutique. Definitely sample that one. Oud Mineral is very interesting as well from Tom Ford. There's a number of them. I always recommend Hugo Boss Bottled Oud. It's probably the easiest entry level oud to get into for the Western market, and the price isn't bad at all. It's like an apple cinnamon and a very modern, probably synthetic oud. That one's a nice one to get into as well. So it really depends on what you like. Not everybody's going to like oud. Not everybody has to. Not everybody should. 504. I need one of those king cakes. Oh yeah, those king cakes with the Mardi Gras, all that for sure. I like it better when they put like a blueberry jam in it. I don't know why. I'm just a sucker for blueberries and blackberries. So I like a lot more jam than cheesecake. I think a lot of king cakes have too much cheesecake to them, and it not doesn't have enough balance. That's just my opinion though. You're cool. Thank you, Michael Hodges. I appreciate that. I really do. Dior Home 2020 isn't a bad release. Gifted it to a friend. He seems to love it, but the iris is not prominent. Yeah, that's the thing. They took away the iris. It's actually going to be a little bit more mass appealing. That's one of the funny things in the fragrance world. We often forget that we're kind of the outliers. We're the fragrance enthusiasts. We're the fragrance addicts. Our tastes are often a little bit different from what the average person likes. Some of us probably still can't believe that people still buy Aqua di Gio. People still wear Aqua di Gio and things like that out there. There's still people wearing Cool Water. There's still people out there wearing some fragrances like that. So definitely, we can't forget. There's a reason that Dior made that choice. Do we, as fragrance enthusiasts, like that choice? Probably not. We probably don't like that they did that. But are they going to sell more bottles? Are they going to make more money because of that? They're probably going to make more money because they reformulated it. That's the sad truth about it. They're probably going to make more money because they took away the iris. And it's probably a cheaper product because iris ain't cheap. Iris ain't a cheap ingredient at all. So, isn't bad. Gifted it to a friend. Yeah. Comme des Garçons Ambar is $100 for 500 mils, and it's better than Neroli. Where are you getting that? You'll have to message me. Where are you getting Comme des Garçons Amber, 500 mils for $100? Are you? Is that a clone or that's a lot of juice? That's a lot of juice. You're the indie king. I appreciate that. I like indie. I probably am. I don't dedicate my channel to indie, but I do like indie a lot, and I like to share it. And of course, these companies have been so generous with me. So, sophisticated ladies in the house says hello. Are you a fragrance reviewer? I've never seen you before, sophisticated lady. It's good to see you though. And I never shop indie for my man Josh from Imaginary Authors. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of indie brands out there. Indie isn't for everybody. Just like oud isn't for everybody, indie is for some people who want smaller amounts of fragrance, who want creativity and artistic things, and what they want a lot of variety, like limited editions, like things that are limited run and will never be made again. So indie's not for everybody either. But if you don't like that niche is kind of going mainstream, and if you don't like that niche, sometimes copycats each other, which does happen. You might want to go more towards the indie, and that's why I share indie. If you want artistic and different fragrances, people taking a risk, people doing putting some extra effort in, and that there's brands that have tons of variety. If you look into Alchemia and Possettes and Sucre Label and all these people, they could have as much as 200 fragrances. 200 fragrances just from one brand. So there's a whole world of fragrances out there. If you want a little bit more, there's other fragrances out there for you. And I see that people are running away. So sorry about that, guys. Says cool. The Curious Perfumer says, "Hey, sophisticated lady. My current favorite fragrances is currently Telegram. I think it's my favorite from the collection right now, despite the negative reviews. I haven't tried that one. I haven't heard too much about it. I honestly, you need to tell me about that one because I don't know much about Telegram at all. So I need to try more Imaginary Author fragrances. I can't give y'all for sure opinion on them yet. I've only tried a few of their fragrances, and one of them was Every Storm a Serenade. And honestly, maybe I picked one of the worst of the bunch. I didn't think that it was amazing, honestly, but I do need to try more of their fragrances. So, Mike says, even though there's no oud in it, I really enjoy Royal Oud. Good to see you're still making videos. Yeah, Mike, I appreciate that. A lot of reviewers pop up here and there. Not everybody wants to stick around in the fragrance game. Not everybody wants to make fragrances for long periods of time. Some people just want to share their collection, share what they have. Maybe they don't make the friends that they want to. Maybe they, kind of run out of content and or ideas. Not everybody wants to stick into the game. For me personally, I did feel kind of under pressure money wise, but I figured out that I can make this happen. I can get samples and I can work with companies. If I'm honest and transparent, it really goes a long way, reviewing fragrances. So this definitely I'm not going away. I'm not going to run away on you guys. And hopefully I can do this for a very long time. So anyways, Royal Oud is a nice fragrance. It doesn't smell oudy to me at all. It probably has a very small amount of even synthetic oud. I don't think it has any real oud in it at all. It's kind of like a cardamom, spicy, slightly woody fragrance. Sophisticated Lady says exactly. Yeah, for sure. Gucci Homme 2 is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. The T note is unbelievable. Wow. Try it out, guys. Bad longevity, though. Joseph. Um, I'm probably sure that you know, mentioning that fragrance, but that one's discontinued. A lot of these fragrances, especially if they're not sold on their websites anymore, if they're not in production, if they're not at your local mall, they're probably discontinued. That one actually has been discontinued for a while, and the supply just dried up of Gucci Pour Homme 2 about a month ago or so. Now the prices have gone up on that fragrance. They're $175 plus now for a full size bottle unopened. I actually went to look, when that was kind of happening, and even all the partial and half bottles are just about gone. There's only about two or three bottles available on eBay in the USA of that fragrance. So if you really like that fragrance and if you think it's worth that kind of money, you might want to get out there and buy it. I do think it was the best tea fragrance in the designer world, probably on the market. I really like the violet vibe to it. I think the fragrance needed something in the dry down, something in the base to kind of hold it together. Yeah, and the longevity was just ridiculously bad. The longevity on Gucci Pour Homme 2, well, it was a 3 or 4 hour fragrance, and it didn't project very much. But the smell was beautiful. I agree with you there. It was a beautiful smell, but I can't I wouldn't recommend the fragrance for 175 or 200 bucks. I think it's just too darn expensive. But some people out there think it's a masterpiece. So wear what you love. If you think Gucci Pour Homme 2 is worth 200 bucks, wear it. But I don't think it's worth that kind of money. It's kind of a shame with when the good designer fragrances go away, and they cost 200 bucks. And I'm gonna do a video also, and a lot of people don't want to hear it in the fragrance community, but those fragrances that we really like Midnight in Paris, Gucci Pour Homme 2, and some of these other fragrances that are considered some of the best designers ever made, they're discontinued for a reason. It's because they don't sell to the mass market. The average person on the street goes in the store, it's a little bit too different, it's a little bit too unique. The quality might be better, it might be blended a lot better, and I agree. But the companies see what sells and what doesn't sell, and these companies they want to make money, so they're not gonna stock those or put them in shelves, take all that risk, put all that money in there when they can replace it with a flanker or something else that's gonna make more money. So it's a shame. I agree, it's a shame, but that's the way the world rolls. That's the way it goes. Gucci Pour Homme 2 was a good one for sure. Telegram is okay. The backup bottle boss says I need to spend more time with it. Love Cape Heartache memoirs. I think it's of a trespasser, Saint Julep, Sundrunk, City on Fire, etc. I need to try some more. I've heard some people say the quality isn't that great. I need to try some more. I shouldn't let my first impression judge the whole brand just from one or two fragrances. So, nice intro to Oud. Is Versace Oud Noir and Initio Oud for Greatness. I agree. You know, a lot of people complain about that Versace's longevity, but I think a lot of people praise it for how good it smells. So it definitely is a good way. It's a good one to get into if it's your first oud fragrance. It's not hard to get into. Oud for Greatness to me is a little bit more on that dark suede side of things. As far as I wouldn't recommend it for a first oud fragrance. It's just too expensive. It is a little bit easier to wear for sure. It's easy to wear for the most part, but I just think it's too expensive to take a risk on it. If you're not into oud, you're probably not deep into niche, and that's probably a lot of investment and a lot of money. So I always recommend going on a shopping holiday or maybe a vacation, and when you do, make sure to go to a fancy boutique. Make sure to go to a very upscale, mall and try out some of these fragrances and see what you think about them. And if you're interested in the fragrances and if you like them, just ask for a sample. And if you're nice enough, and maybe if the cashier or the counter representative is nice to you, maybe they might give you a free sample. So I think that's the way to go. But good suggestions, though, my friend. What's your next fragrance purchase? I probably shouldn't tell y'all. I wanted it to be a sneak peek, but I'm trying to remember the brand. Oh my goodness, I think it's called IDO. I'm not, for some reason I'm not even remembering. It's the fragrance is called Prison Blues. I've been wanting it for a long time. They had a Valentine's sale for 50% off, and it was a real discount code. I posted it on my Instagram. The sale is probably gone by now, long gone. So that's probably the. I usually don't buy anything. I've been, I'm kind of crunched for cash, but I couldn't resist. I've been wanting that fragrance for so long, and it was 50% off. 50% off. I just couldn't resist it. So that's been my most recent purchase. My next one, I want some more Louis Cardon fragrances. They came out with some that recently that I want. They're kind of a no name or a brand that not a lot of people know in the West, and they make more Arabian style fragrances. They're very affordable, and so I might look into them. I really want a fragrance from a French house called Caramel Belle. They have one called Iode, which would be perfect for the summer. So it's a very beautiful, fresh fragrance with a little bit more of a amber touch, amber nuance. So it's a beautiful fragrance, and I have a hard time with amber. So I definitely got to go for that one. So thank you for asking, making sense. Those are some of the ones on my mind. I have a huge wish list, though. Just like any fragrance enthusiast, I probably have. You can go to my Fragrantica account. I have a giant wish list, and I have a bunch of them saved as a draft on my email. I take screenshots. I mean, there's 1,000 fragrances out there. There's 1,000 of them. Highly recom recommend try Bottle Boss the Private Accord. You might love it. I have tried it. I do like it. I really do. Um, I don't know if the fragrance has poor longevity or if I just immediately go nose blind. I think I probably go nose blind to that fragrance. I don't know why. It smells beautiful, and I do enjoy the smell. It's my kind of vibe. It works with me, my personality. But every time I wear that fragrance, it just about I don't know why, but I just go nose blind super fast. So I like to not only smell great, but I like to be able to smell myself. So that's kind of a negative for me personally. And I have other almost gourmandy scents or semi gourmands that I like, and I can pick them up on my skin. So I've been tempted to buy that one. It's a good recommendation. Thank you for recommending it. But I don't know if I'm going to buy it because I just go nose blind to that thing. I don't know why. Aqua di Gio is excellent fragrance. You're right. I wasn't trying to bash Aqua di Gio. I was just saying that we move so fast paced in the fragrance community. Most people in the world don't know what things like Baccarat Rouge 540 is. Aventus is old news to a lot of fragrance enthusiasts, and Baccarat Rouge 540 is already out the door. So us fragrance enthusiasts move really fast, just like aficionados with I don't know any name brand thing like the newest car, the newest knife, the newest anything, and the average consumer isn't up to date and they're not fat. I'm just saying they're not. They might just like their Honda Civic or whatever analogy you want to make. So uh, people that's still how it goes. People are still wearing it for a good reason. It's sold millions of dollars and I don't know how many hundred thousands and thousands of bottles. It's a good fragrance. It has been reformulated, so longevity isn't great, but yeah. Also agree Gucci Pour Homme 2 was great. Sucks it was discontinued. Yeah. And sometimes it's really hard to know when a fragrance is discontinued. But if you love a fragrance, if you really like it, I always recommend that you go to the official website. And if they do not have it listed on their official website, and you just have to know, try to message them. They might not message back. But if it's not even available on the gray market, if it's not available at FragranceNet, Fragrance by CA, Notino, Max Aroma, places like that. If it's not even available there, it's definitely discontinued. And sometimes it takes a year or two for the supply to dry up. And sometimes there's a funny cycle, like Midnight in Paris. Some of those fragrances get liquidated and they hit an all-time low. Once the companies are liquidate the inventory, the fragrances get like they $20 or less, super super cheap, and people rave and rant about it. Everybody buys it, everybody loves it, and then the supply dries up, and then the demand is still there. People are still talking about it, so the price just skyrockets. So that's what happens with those designer fragrances and some of those cheapies, amazing fragrances for the money. But then later on, a couple years later, somebody might be able to be willing to pay $200 for your $20 fragrance. So it's funny how that works. It's funny how that happens. Everywhere, bro. Check Lucky Scent. Yeah, I need to. Lucky Scent's a great place. I used to spend hundreds of dollars buying samples. I've just slowed down. I don't like paying that much money for just samples. I'd rather just try to go to save up money, maybe get on a plane one day and fly over to Lucky Scent and smell everything. Say, hey, Lucky Scent, I'm here. I'm gonna smell everything today. So I have over 1,000 bottles and still wear Aqua di Gio cool water and almost brings a tear to my eye. Reminds me of the 90s. Hey, they're good fragrances. They're versatile, they're easy to wear, and they're lovely. Hey, and Backup Bottle Boss, you got 1,000 bottles. Man, you got all kinds of backup bottles. You got me beat. I got like 60 bottles and random decants and oils and tars and all kinds of random stuff. So I'm happy with my little collection, but man, you got 1,000 bottles. You could open a warehouse. You could open a boutique. If I had that kind of money, I probably would want to own a boutique, so I could just walk in the store and wear whatever I wanted. Like the testers, I could just drown myself in them, and then I wouldn't have to worry about storage and all those funny things. So anyways, it's just a splash bottle. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes that's what you have to. All that's left. That's all. Especially with aftershaves and the like. Sophisticated lady says yes. I am a fragrance reviewer. Okay, sophisticated lady. I'll have to check you out and sub. I always love to support other fragrance reviewers. So thank you so much for stopping by. And I'm looking forward to watch some of your content. Check you out. And everybody, sophisticated lady, check her out. I might have subscribed to you already. On Robe's video when he, shouted out all those lady fragrance reviewers. I think I subbed to everybody, so I don't remember. I'm not if I who I subbed to. What do you think of the House of Matriarch? House of Matriarch fragrances is a very interesting house. It's a very interesting brand. Um, I Sometimes I feel like the fragrances are too expensive. Most of the time, there are some of them that are even more expensive, but most of their fragrances are $300 or $330 for 50 mils. So compare that to 100 mils of fragrance. That's about a $660 fragrance. That's pretty high. That's pretty up there in the niche world. It's very expensive. I like the image of the brand. I like the mysticism and the almost the spiritualism behind the brand. I like the look and the style. I think the quality certainly is there, but I don't know if they should be so expensive. I do wish that the fragrances were a little bit louder, but she is using natural ingredients. I do wish that the fragrances had more body to them and more weight sometimes. I have one. It's something magic. It's a three-letter word. Y'all know what it is. Um, I love that fragrance. It's a beautiful oud fragrance, but I sometimes do wish that there was a little bit more complexity to it. I want to try Eaglewood. I haven't gotten to try it. They have like one called like the Black Goat or something, and it's very that one's more expensive than normal. That one's like a 50 mil for like $600. Like the Eaglewood, that stuff's so expensive. So I can't really recommend that brand unless you're into naturals and unless you got a big pocket of change because they're just so expensive. But I think that they are artistic and nice. It's an experience. If you've never experienced natural fragrances before, get a sample of something like Kazimi. It's a beautiful rose fragrance, beautiful rose fragrances, mixed all together. And some of their fragrances have so many exotic ingredients. Forbidden. If you love earthy fragrances or fragrances that have those earthy herbal nuances, um, I think it's called Forbidden, is amazing. And or it might be Epiphany. I might be mixing those two up, but I like the brand. I appreciate the brand, but it's hard to recommend for everybody because people are on a budget. I've seen people who don't want to spend more than 20 bucks on a fragrance. I've seen people who don't want to spend more than 30. Most people don't want to spend more than 80 bucks on a fragrance. And these fragrances are high up there. But I don't know if they're overpriced. I just wish that they felt richer. But she's one of the only ladies and one of the only perfumers out there in the world who is using, I think it's grape alcohol, which is much more natural. The fragrance lasts longer, and there's a very signature, unique quality about her fragrances. So, hopefully, I didn't rant too long. I know I ran some people away with the high prices, but if you have the money, if you want an experience, check out the brand. They have some amazing creations, very artistic, very high quality. I bought Coco Blanc for my mom for Christmas one year. It's a beautiful white chocolate fragrance. If you love white chocolate, it's gorgeous, but it just doesn't last very long, and it's very expensive. So, anyways, DJ Ginkai says, what kind of dog? We got a Dachshund, and I think the other one is a Boston Terrier. They're really funny. The Boston Terrier is high strung, high energy, and likes to eat almost anything. And the little barky dog that likes to bark all the time is our Dachshund. So, if you want samples of imaginary authors, I could send you some. I have like 100 of them. Josh hooks me up extra because I bought a whole collection. Hey man, I would appreciate that. Get in touch with me. Message me on Facebook or Instagram, and Backup Bottle Boss. And man, I would appreciate that so much. I would love to review imaginary authors. I really want to try Memoirs of a Trespasser, and what's the other one? Whispered Myths, I think, is the other one. I want to try both of those a lot. I really do. Those sound really nice. So we'll stay in touch. Thank you. Randy says thanks for recommending Soul Niche, Killer Incense. Oh yes, my friend. You reminded me about the incense. Let's do that real quick. I wanted to catch up with all the comments, but y'all are so good about the comments. I'm not gonna catch up anytime soon. So let's choose my incense tonight. We have Copal, Kahaya, and if you and Soul Niche is really affordable. Go to their website. They have a sample pack like this for like 12 to 15 bucks, and you can get like 12 different. I think is it 10? No, this one's like a 8, but they have some bigger ones. This one's Copal. That stuff's not really nice. I haven't tried their myrrh high grade, the high grade myrrh yet. And most of this myrrh you see is a lighter color. Look at how rich this stuff is. That's high grade myrrh. So let me know which one do y'all want me to use. I have benzoin dragonfly, a special type of benzoin. And some of these are perfume ingredients, so these are always fun to see, aren't they? Next one is dragon's blood, if y'all have never seen this before. So those are some big chunks. I probably need to crush those into pieces. I got some premium frankincense. Really nice stuff. And black copal. One of my favorites. I love black copal. Dog's going crazy again. Meditation blend. I don't know if I've tried this one. I really like the Celtic blend. I don't think I've tried the meditation one though. And this is supposedly just the Three Kings blend of myrrh, benzoin, and frankincense. So this is the last one. But anyways, for the price and for the money, I do think that Soul Niche is some of the best stuff around. So vote everybody real quick, and so I can get some incense going tonight. I ran everybody off. Only 10 people here. Oh goodness. Let's see here. Let me catch up with the comments. Thanks for niche incense. It's expensive to buy full bottles for review, so I'm just gonna review decants. Hey DJ, I'm gonna do the same thing. And have you started a channel yet, DJ? If you've started a channel, let me know, and I'll support you, and I'll shout you out because you're legit, my friend. You're awesome. Yeah, reviewing. If you have a 2 or 3 mil sample, you can test that fragrance and wear it, 3 or more times, and you can get an opinion of that fragrance. You don't have to buy a full-size bottle and show it for presentation, especially if you want to, review a lot of fragrances. I think that is one thing that held a lot of people back in the past. They felt like they could only review the bottles that they owned, and they didn't want to review from samples or maybe take that risk, or, the culture culture of the fragcom has changed a lot over the years. So, sophisticated lady says, "Okay, for sure, all about the money." Well, that's the way the world is. Sadly, yeah, it is. With Dior and everything, imaginary authors are great quality but weak longevity. I've kind of heard that. That's kind of sad to hear. How do you feel about clones? Mike, you probably know from my content. I respect a clone if it's done well. I don't really think it's stealing, intellectual property or anything like that, clone wise. There's people who are very opinionated on this topic. I respect everybody's opinion, but everybody copycats each other in all industries in the world, all industries and companies in the world, car companies and everything else in between. Everybody's copying each other. If somebody comes out with a new idea, somebody's going to copycat it, and somebody might even do it better. I like niche if they, do something different, if they switch up the fragrance and if they change it for what the customers want, if they improve the longevity, or if maybe they might just give you something that might not smell, have the natural ingredients. It might not smell as good, but it lasts a lot longer and it's significantly cheaper. So I like clones if they're done right. Some clones aren't great, and y'all know if a clone house ever does, decide to send me something, then I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Alt Fragrances sent me their copy of Tom Ford's Oud Wood called Agar Gold, and I actually gave the fragrance a negative review. And as far as I can tell, I don't really like the brand as a whole. They were supposed to send me some more samples, but I think they saw my review, and they have not sent the rest of those samples to me. So some brands are hit and some brands are miss. With anything, I say let the best man win. Some people don't like clones, but in the world, competition matters. If us as consumers, we need competition so we can get better products and pick and choose what's the best and what we like. If we're not, if we don't have the freedom to choose, um, you know, we just miss out as a consumer. So that's just my opinion on things. And and I was the one everybody's talking about these days. That I don't want to say every brand's a clone. Like, I don't want to say that every niche brand is a clone house, but there are companies that are taking inspiration and almost doing the same thing as clone houses. One of the recent ones was Instant Crush by Mansara. It's a good fragrance. I have my review coming out, but to me, it smells like you took like 80% of the Chronic by Byron and put in like 20% of Baccarat Rouge 540 and then put it in a machine and spinned it out, and that's what you got. So to me, it's undeniable that that fragrance is not its own creation. It's inspired by something else, and brands are copying each other all the time. Sometimes niche will copy indie. I mean, niche will copy designer. Designer will copy niche, and that's just how the world goes. But I guess it all depends on the consumer. What does the consumer want? Like Elysium by Roja, that's not an original fragrance, and Elixir by Roja is not a original fragrance. But do people like it? Do people buy it? Yes, they do. And I guess that's just how things are. And that's my opinion. So, anyways, I could get a lot deeper into that discussion, but I don't want to get deep into it. He uses many naturals, so less longevity at times. So some last a long time. Yeah, that's true. More natural ingredients usually don't last as long as the synthetics. It's a great point. Are you familiar with oud for women that's affordable? I am. There's one called Rog. I think the fragrance is called Rogba by Latafa, or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe it's called Latafa by Rogba. Anyways, Google that. It's an Arabian house, and it's a clone. It's an interpretation of none other than Oud Bouquet by Lancome. It has amazing longevity. It's a spicy, very wearable, modern oud fragrance. It smells really, really good, and it lasts. It has amazing longevity, and it's only going to cost you 30 to 40 bucks. So I think it's called Rogba by Latafa. I have a review I think out of it. I ended up giving it to my mom, and she loves the darn thing. It's a vanilla focused version of Oud Bouquet by Lancome, which is an amazing oud fragrance for ladies. You could go for the original, Oud Bouquet by Lancome, but I feel like it's a little bit. it's not an entry level oud. It's not an easy oud for women to get into. I don't feel like it's easy on the nose. Um, if you want a fragrance that just has the slightest hint, it doesn't even smell like it has oud in it for a lady. There's one called Precious Oud by Van Cleef and Arpels. That is probably the easiest to. It's a very easy. I think it has a tiny bit of a medicinal oud, and it just has a tiny, tiny wood touch. So, Precious Oud by Van Cleef and Arpels is probably the easiest oud to recommend for a lady. If you're very scared of oud and you just want to put your tippy toe in, it's very nice. And I have a review coming. I'm actually wearing it right now. It's one of my scent of the days. It's called Tequila Oud from the House of Tequila. It's like an $80 fragrance. It's a very sweet, interesting, oud fragrance that has a little bit of that medicinal oud. So definitely check it out. And again, I don't know if Baccarat Rouge 540 has oud in it, but it certainly does have that medicinal vibe. So definitely check out, Baccarat Rouge 540. You might like that as well. I'm losing people every time I speak. People are just going away. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. It's 1 a.m. in the UK. What time is it where you're at? Um, I don't have a clock in front of me. I'm just looking at the chat. I can't see the time right now, but I think it's 6 or 7. Anyways, yeah, it's nighttime, but it's not super, super late. Let me see here. Catch up with these comments. Hi, the Curious Perfumer. Hey, Curious Perfumer, good to see you. I want to try Dua's Atars. I bet they're fascinating. I would like to try them as well. Maybe one day I'll get into Dua's. Um, I haven't tried any of their new fragrances, so I don't want to pass judgment. But I would be careful about Dua for your value of money, if you're getting a good value or not. The new Dua fragrances are kind of they kind of seem to me kind of expensive for what they are. Backup Bottle Boss says has more than double of what I have. Yeah, the Backup Bottle Boss is one of the masters of fragrances. He's one of the grand senseis. You go to his dojo and he shows you some crazy moves that you've never seen before. He's legit. Let me see here. Making sense. I've spent way too much. It's not a good idea to have a. Well, it's up. It really depends on how much money you have and what you want to do with your life. Some people have thousands and thousands of dollars in post. I like to say this in postage stamps in shoeboxes inside their closet. So it all depends on how much money you have, what you want to collect, what you want to do with your life. If Backup Bottle Boss has a lot of money and and he wants to spend $1,000 on fragrances, I mean, have 1,000 bottles, he can do that. I think Robes Await, I forget how many he said he had, but I did the math, and I think he has like like $100,000 or $200,000 into his cologne collection. So some people are very serious into it. It all depends on what you like and what you want. Some people have, multiple millions in cars. Some people own multiple millions in houses and anything. So, and I'm also a knife enthusiast. So, I have seen knives that cost $5,000 a piece. So it really depends on your budget, what you're into, what you like, what do you collect. For some people that's unbelievable that we would spend $100 on a fragrance or $500 on a fragrance. To some people, it's unbelievable that you would have a knife in your pocket, and this is a cheap little thing, but have a fragrant have a knife that costs 800, $1,000. So, anyways, backup bottles. I feel you, bud. Lol, the Backup Bottle Boss. If the cops find those bags in your car, these do look kind of suspect, don't they? I'm like, hey, officer, this is some black copal. Black copal. What? What in the world you got there? And they see this dragon's blood. It's like, what? What's wrong with you, son? What are you doing? Anyways, I think I'm gonna go for some black copal tonight. That's one of my favorites. I didn't see anybody suggesting anything, or maybe I haven't caught up with the comments. But you're funny, Backup Bottle Boss. DJ says, hey, thanks you. It's cloud-based scents. First video is March 1st. Hey, man, I'll look forward to that. Keep me up to date. Remind me to check you out, and I'll definitely make a shout-out video. Maybe I'll make my shout-out video March 2nd or something like that. So, Be a customer, not a consumer. Oh, for sure, yeah. For sure. Yeah, support whatever brands that you like. That's one of the things. If you like a brand or if you care about a brand, support them and buy the fragrances that you like. You know, a lot of people criticize clone houses, and some of the clone houses have amazing original creations. If you don't want the clone company making clones, you got to buy their original creations. So, I don't know if y'all want to see this, but here's the burning. If I can get this darn thing to work today, I don't know if I will. It's kind of it's getting kind of low. I'd like this like burn. Ah, I need to refill this. It won't keep the flame up for very long. Sorry guys, I'm trying to light this incense. Okay, I just gotta hold it down real firm. Okay, everybody, I'm lighting it now. Light, and this is that charcoal. It has some like easy light inside, and it's real easy to light. And then it kind of like sparkles and flickers, and you don't really think it's burning, but it really is starting to get really hot inside. So, anyways, so we got the incense going. I'm trying to get that so y'all see that it's starting to go. I'll show y'all what it looks like in a second. Thank y'all for your patience. Um, Hopefully y'all can hear the sparkle. Okay, what we got going on? See, it says I got a decant of Mousse Illuminates from Rogue. Rogue Perfumery is legit. I love their Devonish. Rogue, and if Rogue has some really nice fragrances. You won't regret it. It's my second favorite right now, and you already know I'm a Rogue fanboy. Rogue's a nice house. I think I have tried that one. I need to revisit it. It's really nice. Devonish is the one that took my heart. Devonish was legit. A really nice fragrance. The Cobra and the Canary is the only one I want to try. That one looks really interesting, doesn't it? It looks like it has a little bit of almost like a lemon, and it's really playful. I've heard good things about that one. Um, Let me see here. Backup Bottle Boss says Cobra and the Canary is artistic, genius, but hard to wear. Smells like lemon and asphalt. Interesting combination. That sounds really interesting. Moose, thank you. Have you tried generic perfumes? They do great oils, clones, and perfumes, and the latest solid. Give them a try. I'll try to take a screenshot of them as well and give them a try. I do love good oils. I love layering oils with my fragrances. You know, it's just wonderful to get that kind of variety. Hednick on base notes has over 4,000 bottles worth over 500,000. Man, I'm not anywhere close to that. That's a crazy collection. Some people are throwing some serious money down on fragrances. If y'all know Raj, man, he's legit too. Raj is throwing serious bucks on fragrances. Yeah, my mom thinks it's crazy to spend $100. Yeah, for some people, spending $100 on a fragrance is crazy because most fragrances they've seen only cost $80 these days, and back in the day, a good fragrance probably only cost you like $50 or so. At your mall or at your the drugstore. So it really depends on your perspective. Everybody's into something. Everybody has their own vice or has their own hobby. So yeah. Let's see. I just went in and sprayed a few sprays of my Cobra and Canary decant, and I actually like it despite the very medicinal. I didn't like it before. Yeah, fragrances can grow on you. You got to give fragrances a chance. You got to, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to grow on you. And guys, look at this. I love incense. Let me know if y'all want me to do more videos about incense. If y'all don't know, I did receive some incense for free from a brand called Airage Perfumes. They have a lot of exotic assortments of different types of frankincense. Um, Guys, give them a chance. They were very generous to me. Let me know if you want more reviews of incense. I do want to, be kind to them and genuine to them. They were very nice to me. I just sometimes feel like I don't know if y'all want reviews of incense, but I love this stuff. And you can perfume yourself. You can perfume your clothes or your house. So, incense is so fun. And this is the Black Copal. This is one of my favorites. I love Open X and I love Opal. How is that incense? I love it. This has a little bit of sourness and a little bit of tart, and it has a little bit of sweetness, and it's kind of mellow. I really like Black Copal. It's just one of my favorites. Sandalwood's beautiful. Palo Santo is beautiful. I like the Celtic blend from Soul Niche. Again, you can go to their website. I'm not affiliated with this brand. They don't know who I am. But you can go to soulniche.com and get yourself a sampler pack like this for like 12 to 15 bucks. You can go online and get yourself, it's called a charcoal tablet. This brand here I have is called Swift Light, and get yourself some charcoal tablets. And you don't have to buy a fancy setup like this. You don't have to buy this. This is a soapstone. This setup cost me like 20 to 30 bucks. And this is a ceramic insert, so I don't have to clean it up. And, and then I put my charcoal tablet in there. And this is on a bed of sand. This soapstone is containing some sand. Um, you could just go to your backyard and fill up a ceramic bowl, fill it up with a bunch of dirt, and put your charcoal tablet on top of the dirt, and you don't have to worry about it. If you don't have a lot of money, I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Um, so the stuff I'm using here is called Swift Light charcoal tablets. These have a little bit of I don't know what it is, a little bit of like lighter fluid or something that sparks. It lights when you put some flame to it, and it makes it a lot easier to use. If you were just to use a charcoal briquette or something for grilling, it would not be easy to use. This is a whole different product. I don't think I think that it's a different mix. So I mean, don't use that stuff you use for grilling. The nuns in Italy make the best incense. They love me. I have bought so much from them, and I thought they thought you were a priest, huh? Man, that'd be funny. I've never had a nun like me before, so that's kind of funny. I am the opposite of a priest. Yeah, they might not like your deeds, your dastardly deeds. But that's a funny story. I think incense is wonderful too. And if you travel, experience the world. If you go on a vacation, experience the world. Find some new food, find some new scents, try to find some new oils and some new resins. I had a roommate at college who got on, I forget what it's called. It's like a student some kind of travel program, and he went to Jerusalem, and he didn't bring any spices with him, and he didn't bring any darn resin back with him. He said that they didn't. I don't even know if they looked at any of the stuff. I said, you went to spice bazaars. You went to some of the most exotic. You went to one of the most exotic places in the world. You were surrounded by cultures and spices and foods and things you'll never see again. And you didn't buy any darn incense. He could have filled his luggage up of that stuff and probably tripled his money selling it in the USA with that frankincense and some of that exotic stuff that they got over there. So I gave him a hard time for a little while, but anyways, yeah. If you go to Jerusalem, you got to definitely fill up your bag with some incense. um, anyways, do you want me to jump into indie fragrances or indie perfume? Do y'all want me to? Dogs are going kind of crazy, but and anyways, I see 11 people are still here. Did I run everybody off yet? um, got any questions for me? Has there anything been on your mind? Have you had any questions for me in the fragrance community? Um, any suggestions you want me to do for my channel? Talk about whatever you want. $2. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. We're gonna jump into some. I think this is Sucre Label. Very interesting fragrances. They have some really interesting names. They have one called Toxic Masculinity ruins the party again. So I mean, they got some crazy stuff. um, Again, I don't know all the notes off these, and this one's a little bit fresh. It has a little bit of like almost not ambrette, almost just like a light gourmand underneath it all, but it's kind of fresh in the opening. This one's interesting. It's like a light gourmand. When I first smelled it, I didn't get a gourmand sense out of that one, but it's kind of like that light sandalwood, kind of like nutty gourmand quality. It's not overtly sweet or chocolatey or rosy or anything like that. Suggestions, gossip about other you. Oh no, 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 no! I'm half joking, but it might work. Well, y'all know me. I don't know. I probably don't come off as too humble. I can come off as I don't even know what the word is, like bodacious, like loud and exuberant. But I don't really want to bash other fragrance reviewers. I do miss Agnes. I wish she would come back. I really don't know the full story and all the drama behind all that and tunes. And I think the fragrance runner's gone away. And there's a bunch of good fragrance reviewers that have gone away recently, and I miss them. And that's one reason I did that video recently. I felt like I was in limbo because I'm almost at 2,000. There's very few fragrance reviewers that are around there, at 2,000. So a lot of fragrance reviewers, and just it's just the way the world is. You find, you're friends with people who are common to you, who are similar to you. A lot of the time, I'm not that way. I don't like to be that way. But there's Scented Waters, and there's a few other people out there. Uh, there aren't too many who are just at the 2,000, so I kind of feel alone. And I love and I befriend a lot of the smaller YouTubers, but some of them don't feel like I'm the same as them. But I still feel like them. I still think like them. I still review a lot of the same things, and I don't have a big head, so I befriend. I comment on their videos, but it's kind of a struggle sometimes. That's one of the things I was feeling when I did that video. Um, Anyways, that was on my mind. But I don't want to gossip about any fragrance reviewers. I care about everybody. I wish everybody the best. We all have our differences. We all review different things. I recently unsubscribed from some fellow fragrance reviewers. I still care about them. I'll still give them a vote of confidence. But I, as a fragrance, I mean, just as a fragrance lover and enthusiast, I don't connect to their content. Maybe I should have just subbed and unfollowed. I don't know. I just, if you're just talking about top tens like designers and all the time and things like that, it's just not something I was interested in. So, um, I try to watch who I really like. So, get Serpio and the Whack Pack in here. Maybe I should. I don't like bashing other reviewers, and I don't like criticizing anybody directly, or even indirectly, really. So I don't know what their views are on that. I like the Whack Pack. I think they're cool. I think they're fun. But sometimes I feel like they're a little too extreme. Like when they destroyed that bottle of Club de Nuit Intense, I thought that that's almost like pushing people's buttons. Some people really like that fragrance, and I would never go out of my way to try to intentionally offend somebody. I'll put my opinion out there, even if it might offend people, but I'm not gonna like I don't know have a bottle of Aqua Amara and like throw it on the ground and like break the bottle in front of y'all to make a point, or burn it with a furnace, or anything like that. So I'm not gonna do anything like that. Anyways, I bought rainbow foodie pajamas from Sucre Labelle, and it is interesting. Not sure vanilla cake will. That's a real sounds like a really crazy one. They have some crazy fragrances. This one is called I come from a long line of terrifying women. So they have a lot of art, a lot of creative ideas over there. I love Agnes. I would literally marry her. I have never said that about a stranger. She's a fantastic lady. She was very friendly and very charming. I don't. I've joked about stuff like that in the past. I think you have to get to know somebody if you make a big commitment like that. But I know what you're saying. sometimes you meet somebody and you know that they're such a genuine person. It's like you probably can't go wrong. But that's a big commitment, my friend. That's a big commitment. Agnes is a nice lady. We do miss her. She's missed. I'm fairly new to YouTube as a reviewer, and some of the things I see are definitely frustrating. Just a part of the experience, I guess. What kind of frustrations have you been having, Deborah? Let me know, and if you want to message me, I'd be happy to give you some suggestions on, what you can do as a YouTuber. I am no way a professional YouTuber. I am in no way a giant YouTuber. Some people think that in the fragrance world, having 2,000, I'm close to 2,000. They think that having 2,000 subs is something special. They're, yeah, I mean, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful to people who watch me and like my content. But in the scheme of YouTube, you're nobody until you have like 250,000. So, but in the fragrance world, it's much smaller. If you probably have 50,000, you're probably a pretty big person in the fragrance community. So, anyways, I'm grateful for everybody. The growth sometimes when you're first starting, you have to put in a lot of work. You big grind. I when I first started, I put in, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 months of work, and it seemed like I was getting nowhere. It doesn't look like you're getting comments. It doesn't look like you're making friends, and it can be real difficult. I would suggest maybe posting a few videos in some of the Facebook groups, maybe making some friends with some fragrance reviewers and doing some tag videos or some collaborations. And of course, reach out to me. I'll try to include you in my collaboration or my shout out video. Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. I think I got disconnected for a second. I was. Am I back, everybody? I was saying that I'll include. I was trying to take a screenshot, and I said I'd include you in my collaboration video. Um, Eugene exploded that bottle and was hilarious. I'm sorry. Hey man, everybody has a different opinion. Some people think that Club de Nuit is trash. Some people think that Club de Nuit is terrible. And to each his own. Everybody has a different personality. Everybody has a different view on things. Buying the fragrance and giving the company money, then burning it is still giving Armoff money. Yeah, you could make that argument as well. You gave Armoff some money, so um, this terrifying woman's fragrance definitely more on the feminine side. I feel like it's like a jasmine with a really nice full body to it. It's maybe a tiny bit powdery. It's a nice fragrance. I wouldn't wear it myself, but I'm still sniffing my indie fragrances over here. Staying positive though. Yeah, definitely. If you have passion for fragrance, if you put yourself out there, if you like learn tags in your videos and maybe improve your thumbnails and I can talk to you about how to do some of these things if you want my help, and definitely collab and work with some of us. You can grow. I've been on YouTube for like a year and I think 4 months or so. A year and 3 months, a year and 4 or 5. I'm not exactly sure if I remember right. And I've been putting out daily videos for how long has it been? I don't know, 4 or 5 months. I have almost 300 videos. So it takes a lot of work and dedication, but it's really a passion of love. If you don't really love making videos, if you really don't love sharing fragrances and talking about fragrances and perfumes, eventually it's going to kind of die out. You're not going to want to do it anymore. Um, sometimes you do need to take a little bit of a back seat and recharge a little bit. Get on a live stream like this, chat with some friends, chat with people in the fragrance community. Maybe not take things so serious. I think that that's one of the things that burns out people. They have really high expectations, and they maybe put a lot of editing into a video. That's one of the things I did. There was a stage in my fragrance life, in my fragrance world, I was putting in like 3 hours or maybe 4 hours of editing into my videos. And I'd get less than 100 views on that video. And I'd sit back and said, I put 4 hours of work into that video and I got 100 views or less. I got 50 views for 4 hours of work. And, you can beat yourself up on that, but you don't need to put a lot of editing into your videos. You don't have to have the fanciest stuff, at least when you first start. So take it easy. Don't stress. Don't stress about it. Yeah, Deborah, no worries. I'm here for you. Don't stress about it. Deborah, your channel looks good. Never seen you before. Love your pup. Yeah, everybody, definitely go check out her channel. Check out all these other reviewers' channels. Solano's legit. Um, this fragrance is called Venom. It has a really interesting. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an interesting, like little bitter nuance to this, and it's slightly earthy. Venom is really strange. I don't know if I love this one. It's not bad, but it's not me. Uh, Let me catch up with the comments. Thanks up bottle, backup bottle and bin. Yeah, we're here for you. And what do you think is your largest projecting fragrance? Not sillage. Oh, you mean like one with the strongest projection, like it really pushes? Um, I'm not exactly sure. Let me think about that for a second. It might be my Pure Tonka, but it's not exactly a beast mode. It's probably my Man in Black by Bulgari. That stuff really kicks off my skin for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. Bulgari's Man in Black is really strong on me. I don't know if it's strong on everybody else, but that one's a real performer. It's really spicy. So it's always does the job. It stands up to the cold weather really well. I'm not sure what my strongest fragrance is. I used to have a bottle of Invictus, but I ended up selling it. It just wasn't for me. Invictus is a good fragrance for a younger guy. If you're a clubbing younger man and you want to get attention, positive attention, you want the ladies to love you, Invictus works. A lot of us in the fragrance community hate Invictus, and I understand why. It actually started getting annoying to me, and I like to be a little bit more classy and a little bit more laid back, and it wasn't my vibe. I'll never forget when I went to the movie theater one time, or just the theater, and I put on, I think it was four sprays. It was pretty fresh, so it was projecting. It had only been on my skin for probably an hour or less, but I'll never forget that there was a lady, and she was like 20 feet away, 25 feet away, something crazy like that. And I was walking into the theater, and she was walking out, and she looked straight at me, and she not only it wasn't the sillage. It wasn't like I walked past her and she was behind me. She actually was in front of me, 25 feet away, like almost like, halfway across the other side of the street. And she noticed me and looked at me, and I don't know if she liked me. Maybe I could have made a move, but I didn't. But by golly, I don't want a fragrance that screams like that. That fragrance was screaming, and to me, that's just too strong. That's it's not polite to other people when when you're in a subway, when you're in a public place. You can choke people out, you can make people cough, and I just like to be careful. So that's just my personality, though. This amaretto is really nice. Amaretto is, I think it's supposed to be a copy of a wine fragrance. It's ended up being like real. It has wine underneath it, but it also has this like gourmet bready quality to it. It's like a gourmet. It's like almost like a bready dessert, almost like bread pudding, with like a lot of wine poured over it. I don't know if that's a Catholic thing to do. That just came to my mind. Maybe because we were talking about nuns. But amaretto, really nice stuff. Let me see here. My vintage jupe has been smelled by hundreds of feet away. I bet your vintage jupe is crazy strong. I bet your vintage jupe is something super crazy. I can't imagine how strong that is. I've tried the reform, and the reform's pretty strong too. Um, Let me see here. Agree. I have to enjoy the ride and not take it so seriously. Yeah, that's one of the things I had a struggle with. I had expectations and goals, and you get into this YouTuber mode, and you're like, instead of being a fragrance enthusiast and a fragrance lover, you can get sidetracked by the YouTuber side of things. You're like, well, I'm a YouTuber and I'm putting in all this work, and like I should get like a make a goal, and I'm getting like 1,000 subs a week and all this crazy stuff, and that's not how it's gonna work. You have to care about what you're doing, and you have to care about your subs. Like, definitely get in your comment section and build up your community. Care about your people, I think that's a very important thing to do. I think it's a very, it's essential, and you have to be genuine, of course. Let me see here. I agree. The enjoy the ride. I mean, backup bottle boss lol. Have a great night, Ben. I've always wished great things for you since you first started, and look forward to um, your next review. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate that. You're awesome. DJ has always been here for me. He's one of the OGs who's been on my channel, always watching and always supporting. And some of these guys who watch my channel, I really do appreciate it from the bottom of the heart. Some of y'all are so awesome, and it humbles me that you're still around, you're still watching my content, and y'all are good friends. So hope there's y'all watching my content. Y'all are some awesome, loyal people. I'm honored to have you here tonight. So let me know if you have to go, everybody. Um, I'm still here. I can still talk about some fragrances. We've been on here for almost an hour 30. I don't want to keep y'all too long. I got to roll out. Have a great night, Ben, and everyone else. Yeah, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by. And you're a fragrance boss, man. 1,000 bottles in, you're in deep. You're a fragrance enthusiast through and through. You probably bleed fragrance. If somebody got you, you probably would bleed some fragrance. Whew, I haven't tried these in a while, and sometimes when you first get fragrances, you have to give them a little bit of air. And this arsenic, it's almost like tutti frutti off the top, but there's also something like underneath it that's kind of dangerous. This is a really interesting fruity fragrance. Arsenic poison. I wasn't expecting it to be so fruity. It almost smells like a almost like a Laffy. Have you ever seen those like Laffy Taffy powders that would like are in those sticks like as a kid? It's like a powdered candy. And this one's called like arsenic poison. That's really strange. That's different. Got to roll out. Yeah, definitely. Let me share some of the more of these with you if y'all are up for it. I got more indie. I can talk all night. Oh, let me show y'all the black opal. It's still going a little bit, and it's got some of its beautiful resin you can still see. If y'all can see that, it's burning really well, and it's got some of that golden, beautiful amber going on. So, it's starting to get a little bit smoky, a little bit more, maybe tiny bit earthy. You can really tell it's burning down. It's beautiful stuff. Let me see here. The next one is called Elixir. For you 8 people who are still here. This stuff's really light. I need to try this on my skin another time. It's a little bit herbaceous. It's a nice density to it. It's limited edition. Limited edition. This one's called Number One. No, it's called Dundler Mufflin. They have very creative names, very funny names. I feel like we should end the live today. I feel like I need to do a live tomorrow. I'll pull out some more indie. I'll pull out some more incense. Maybe you'll want to pick my incense tomorrow. So I feel like we should end it now. I don't know why. I just felt that like we should. So thank y'all so much. Oh, Fragrance Journey stopped in. Hey, my friend, I'm about to wrap up. You stopped in at the very end of the video. You stopped in at the very end. I'm about to head out. I just talked about incense. I just talked about my life a little bit. Supported everybody as much as I can. Fragrance lovers. So it was real fun to be here today. It was really nice. Everybody, thank you so much for supporting me and being here today. Fragrance Journey's legit too. He's a good fragrance reviewer. Check him out. If you want to know about animalic ouds, if you want to know about the daring ouds, the strong ouds, the aggressive ouds, Fragrance Journey is definitely a go-to. I would say he's an expert on the oud, so definitely check him out. He's legit. I would like a shout out when you do your collab also. Oh, of course, Sophisticated Lady. For sure. I'll give you a shout out. And everybody, if you want to make more friends in the fragrance community, check out my shout out videos. I have 5 of them now. There's so many people that pop in and pop out. Hopefully, some of these people will stick around. make sure you love him. Make sure you befriend him. Check out Robes Awaits videos. He has a shout out to lady fragrance reviewers, a bunch of fantastic ladies who are upcoming in the fragrance community. And Frag Hag is also a wonderful lady as well. So please check out these ladies as well. There's so many good people out there. Have a great night, Ben. Thanks for your encouragement and continued success to you. For sure, Deborah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Continue to success. Thank you. I really, that means a lot. I've been wishing that, and I'm really wishing for the success I'm working towards. I'm really hoping for some big changes in my life. I want to go places. I want to do things. I got big dreams and ambitions. So, thank you so much for those well wishes. Fragrance Journey says, be safe. You too, Fragrance Journey. I hope you have a good weekend. Everybody, for the 4 people who are still here, and for anybody watching the replay, I'm going to try to get on tomorrow, maybe tomorrow evening, and do another live. So thank y'all so much for being here today. Thank you for all the love, all the support, and I'll see you next time, my friends. Wear what you love, rock what you got. I'll see you next time, everybody, and bye.